የሚለው እንደዚህ ነው። ለምንድን ነው እንዲመልመው ግን ከሁለት መብራት ሌላ ስንት መብራት ላብራ? ሪዞሉሽኑ እንግዲህ the resolution read as this እንግዲህ እኔ እንግሊዝኛ ማንበብ እወዳለሁ። What's this say? The United States has deepening concerns about the ongoing crisis in Ethiopia Tigray region, as well as other threats to the sovereignty, national unity, and territorial integrity of Ethiopia. That's bullshit. That's political correct. People in Tigray continues to suffer from human right violations, abuses, and atrocities, and urgently needed humanitarian relief is being blocked by the Ethiopian and Eritrean militaries, as well as other armed actors. So it is generalized. Other armed actors means other armed actors includes, I think maybe they're referring to Amhara militia and the TPLF itself. TPLF is in this story, according to what they wrote. The parties to the conflict in Tigray have taken no meaningful steps. The parties in Tigray, that includes TPLF, and Eritrean military as well as other arms. Despite significant diplomatic engagement, the parties to the conflict in Tigray have taken no meaningful steps to end hostilities or pursue a peaceful resolution of the political crisis. The United States condemns in the strongest terms the killing, forced removals, systemic sexual violence, and other human rights violations and abuses. We equally uphold by the destruction of civilian property, including water sources, hospitals, and medical facilities, taking place in Tigray. We call on the Ethiopian government to meet public commitment to hold accountable all those responsible for human rights violation and abuses, to protect civilians, and to ensure unhindered humanitarian access. We call for the Eritrean government to live up to its public commitment and immediately return its troops to internationally recognized Eritrean territory without an immediate cessation of hostilities and a rapid expansion of humanitarian access. Current and significant food insecurity could lead to famine. That's what they wrote. The time for action from the international community is now. Today, I'm announcing a visa restriction policy under Section 212A3C of the Immigration and Nationality Act on the issuance of visas for any current or former Ethiopian or Eritrean government officials. That included, just obvious, including TPLF. Immigration and Nationality Act on the issuance of visas for any current or former Ethiopian or Eritrean government officials. If this thing also have a notion referring to TPLF, the American government has to understand that TPLF as a party, their operatives live in the United States actually also. So they have to even take those kind of elements in America accountable, because if you condemn people like the issuance of visas for any current or former, current means is Abiy Ahmed people, former means TPLF or Eritrean government officials, means also you have to take in consideration about the TPLF people who come as an activist of Tigrayan people, misery sympathizers, and sympathizers, but they are already in the United States. So if this is a real measure, they have to take that thing into consideration and they have to investigate who is in their soil, Members of the security forces or other individuals, to include Amhara regional and irregular forces and members of Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, responsible for or complicit in. You see, that includes the Agenyo Teshagers, the Getachew Redda. That's why Getachew Redda is talking, blah, blah. So I think America really didn't violate justice in this one. I don't see justice being violated by the United States of America. It just they want to take all of them. I wish it just they want to plop in the minds. This is beautiful. I didn't read it, but this is beautiful. They are taking every motherfucker accountable, which is beautiful. I wouldn't be angry on this one. Joe Bidon, man, you good looking. You good looking. I was just kidding. You good looking, Negro. This includes those who have conducted wrongful violence or other abuses against people in the Tigray region of Ethiopia, as well as those who have hindered access of humanitarian assistance to those in the region. Immediately, family members of such person may also be subjected to this restriction. Should those responsible for undermining a resolution of the crisis in Tigray fail to reverse course, they should anticipate further actions from the United States and the international community. We call on other governments to join us in taking this action. Now, one in the detail, then things may go wrong, underestimating the involvement of the TPLF and reversing the political situation where the devil itself come back. They really have to be careful. The United States has to be careful, you know. Additionally, we have imposed wide-ranging restrictions on economic and security assistance to Ethiopia and will bring our defense trade control policy in line with them. Additionally, we have imposed wide-range restrictions on economic and security assistance to Ethiopia. This is about, they're talking about the country. They already have imposed wide-ranging Safaya economical embargo. We have imposed wide-ranging restrictions on economic and security assistances to Ethiopia and will bring our defense trade control policy in line with them. We will continue humanitarian assistance and certain other critical aid to Ethiopia in areas such as health, food security, basic education, support for women and girls, human rights, democracy, good governance, and conflict mitigation, consistent with available authorities. The United States will continue its existing broad restriction on assistance to Eritrea. The United States reiterates its calls for a durable political solution to the crisis. We are committed to supporting efforts to resolve the crisis in Tigray and help Ethiopians advance reconciliation and dialogue to overcome current divisions. I mean, the way I see this thing, if this thing is just sugarcoating the situation to rescue TPLF, I mean, by itself, this is not really something to demonize. I mean, the shit. Anybody who demonizes this must be out of his mind. To me, this is. I mean, in general, what is going on in Ethiopia in these 3 years, just to talk about Tigray is insane. Then it shows the ignorance of American diplomats, navigating the situation in the entire Ethiopia. It underestimates everything. It suppresses atrocities and genocide, real genocide things, because genocides are killing people in numbers. And start in Tigray region. It actually starts in Maikadra, in Tigray region, slaughtering Amhara people, which now the TPLF members abroad who have economical muscle, looting the country for 30 years, who want to reverse the narrative, and that really, in turn, that really infuriate people. That's what I know. But for the rest of it, it just normal. Now I think it's up to the government within the country how to handle this. How they handle it is the thing. But to me, there is a really conspiracy. It's controversial. To me, it's like such kind of actions is just to save Abiy Ahmed, ethnocentric Oromo kind of people, TPLF, just to save the old status quo. But if this shit really get rough, if this shit is real, and if America get rough on TPLF, get rough on Abiy Ahmed, and get rough on the future chaotic people, because it's just like by the time you take down this thing, you have to politically speculate what are the plan Bs, what are the opponents, the political opponents that are fermenting beneath this kind of disgusting people. They use them as a plan B to create chaos. So I think if American intelligence and diplomats understand the role that these ethnocentric Oromo political parties like the OFECO, who are playing good guys, who are writing letters by putting names, PhD on their names and shit, America has to be really even more careful about this kind of people. If they're really, their worry is about the integrity of the unity of the country, then they really have to be really careful in negotiating with this kind of people, because they will unleash the worst in humanity, especially those kind of people. Abiy hide them just not to show the world who they are, because he's part of that. He's just making conspiracy. Abiy is a very conspiratorial kind of guy. He's a very, very despicable person. But for the rest, this is just normal. Even though the atrocities is exaggerated, or may not be, that's not what it is. But if the intent is to take out this kind of actors, all of them, because America is saying all of them, all new TPLF, Abiy, Idoma, all of you. I feel fine. It's just like I wrote it. It's just like me, I wrote this shit. I feel like I wrote this shit. I feel like a fucking senior American diplomat. That's what I'm feeling right now. Because this is what I'm shouting. So I say, America, bye, America, bye, America. Wala si madlasab di sangka sa sendi tekal. Sendi setekal demo, dia yelila agar sendi menasad demo. Sendi tekal. Iftekal. Amarat tasarrud. Yeah. Imbayang nyawa dilindi. Indi. So people, why don't you tell me White House is yours? Why don't you sons of bitches tell me White House is yours? This is what they wrote. So that's what I'm shouting the whole time. What else I'm shouting? It's just as if Joe Biden employed me to write this. Actually, murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote. Oh boy, this I love. This I love. Living in America. I mean, I love it. I'm out.